Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to No Limits Wrestling, and still to come tonight, a huge matchup between the Viper Randy Orton and the number one contender for the world title at WrestleMania, The Undertaker. The Undertaker's obviously had his problems with AJ Styles over the past few weeks, especially considering they're going into WrestleMania to face each other for the world title. And there you see the Undertaker's motorcycle and... hang on. Oh well, you speak of the devil. There he is, the world champion AJ Styles, and what the hell is he doing with that motorbike? That's the Undertaker's. Well, there's going to be hell to pay if the AJ Styles tampers with it or leaves any dents, I can assure you. And well, you want to talk about a bad-tempered individual, look no further than the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. And as of late, he has been undefeated, and in fact he's been undefeated for nearly 2 years. His anger stems from not getting a world title match. Many in the audience, many of the fan base feel that he should be the world champion, or at least get a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. However, for one reason or another, Angle has not got it yet. And then he was tipped over the edge this past week when Drew Galloway, who has only recently signed with No Limits Wrestling, came into the crowd with a sign that said, well, basically, give Galloway a title match, and Angle didn't take too kindly to that, seeing as how he's had to pay his dues for so long. And look who is back. And you hear the thunderous ovation. That is because we have not seen this man for several months, and he is back live here tonight. And Raven told me earlier, after his back injury at Extreme Reunion, he told me that he wasn't going to miss that WrestleMania for the world. And in fact, he's been rehabbing, he's been trying to get back into shape to try and get back before WrestleMania, and he's done that, and well done to him. But tonight, in his return match, obviously he's going to have to shake off some of the ring rust, and it's going to be a difficult task when you're going up against the unpinned, unsubmitted Kurt Angle, and the match gets underway, but Angle's... oh. Well, there you go, that's what caught Angle's attention. There is Drew Galloway. Last week came with a sign that said, give Galloway a title match, and now saying, you haven't beaten me. Well, that's certainly true, and I'm sure he could if he wanted to, but now Angle pounding away at the back of Raven, and he knows that Raven has been suffering from a back injury over the past couple months, and he's only just returned to action. However, tonight, Angle may be in trouble, especially considering Raven's been rehabbing, he's been trying to get back into shape, to try and get back into NLW before WrestleMania, and a stiff knee to Angle and a drop toe hold. Here's the cover by Raven, but Angle kicks out, and now here comes the headlock. The former three-time hardcore champion Raven, oh my, caught out by Angle, and that belly-to-belly throw, a suplex halfway across the ring. And you got to say, that one was directed right to Drew Galloway. Hasn't even had a match in NLW, and angered Angle last week by asking for a title match. Well, here tonight, that sign says, you haven't beaten me. And well, while that is the case, Angle may feel that he could beat him. Possibly on his worst day, I don't know, but obviously the experience in this matchup is split 50-50. However, now, there is a massive boot to Raven, and Raven comes colliding down, and again, now this bitter attitude of Kurt Angle has really been on show over the past few weeks. You can see him holding onto the hair and Raven in the ropes. Galloway looking on there, and the Scotsman first hand witnessing this, as all of us are, on the road to WrestleMania. There is a drop kick by Raven. Doesn't look like he's missed a step, doesn't look like he's missed several months of action, but he's going to try and get back into his stride here against the unpinned, unsubmitted Kurt Angle, and again raking the face. And I've said earlier how Angle's attitude has really changed over the past few months. And now Raven collides in the corner, going for that bulldog. Oh my! From out of nowhere, the Angle slam. And Kurt Angle catches him out. Oh, and again, here you go. And in the centre of the ring, nowhere to go. A mixed reaction again for Angle, who's been getting cocky about his unbeaten run. And there you go, he's got no choice but to tap out. Raven, unfortunately, couldn't shake off the ring rust here tonight. Succumbs to the ankle lock from Kurt Angle, and for God's sake, the man's been out of action for so long and he's not letting go, but there we go. Oh my. Good grief, Galloway throwing his sign at Angle to try and break that up. Angle, the post-match assault. Oh my! Oh, we got to get some security out here, because Galloway's have been thrown into the ring. Oh my! And that piercing shot with that sign. And Galloway. Claymore kick. Caving in the face of Angle. And Drew Galloway says, you haven't beaten me, and that is certainly true. Kurt Angle would not relinquish the hold, and Drew Galloway made him pay. Well, the newest member of the NLW roster, making a massive impact live here tonight. Well, Drew Galloway on the outside took exception to the fact that Angle wouldn't release the hold on Angle, or Raven in fact, and then there was that shot with a sign and then the Claymore kick by Drew Galloway. And Angle cannot believe what's just happened. He's gobsmacked. And already Galloway getting the hell out of there, and I don't blame him. Well, Galloway, that's one way to make an impact here in NLW. You haven't beaten me, that's the case, but nobody's beaten him yet. He's only had a cup of coffee in NLW, and already he's challenging potentially the best in the yard, and that is the unpinned, unsubmitted Kurt Angle. And well, Galloway's been irking a lot of people with his signs over the past few months, and now that he's a signed performer, he is going right after the Olympic gold medalist. And Galloway may have signed his own death wish, you never know. But speaking of signing your death wish, here we go. This is an exclusive for you. The commissioner negotiating with the board of directors up next, and this is all about WrestleMania, all that's happened over the past few weeks. And is the commissioner going to get fired? We'll find out. Here's this exclusive from this past week. So, you know why you're here.
Yeah, I know why I'm here, so get to the damn point.
Well, the fact is, you've been the NLW Commissioner for a very long time, and as a collective, the Board of Directors feel that you have done a fairly decent job up until recently.
What, up until recently? I've always done a great job, and you know it. And you know that the only reason this company is still in business is because of my decision-making. Enough said.
Well, be that as it may, or not be that, your opinion doesn't mean jack to me, okay? It doesn't mean jack to any of us. So, the bottom line is, the NWO has pushed the envelope for far too long. We've been having complaints after complaints, and the controversy is just mounted up.
Good. Do you know what? That's exactly what I want. I want people to notice us. I want people to notice what we're doing and what we're trying to do to fight this company. Now, is this meeting going to be brief, or is it going to be dragged out for hours? I don't know. Whatever the hell it is, just tell me now.
We don't want to keep you long. We just want to inform you that we are very close to firing you.
Oh, really? Really? Well, maybe you've forgotten about my ironclad contract that you cannot terminate.
The fact is that, Mr. Commissioner, you've abused your power for far too long, and that was very evident when you and your group of thugs beat up John Cena, who is not a member of the NLW roster anymore. As far as we're concerned, that is an assault on the member of the public, and we cannot stand for it.
Well, what are you going to do? Because you can't fire me, huh? That ironclad contract I am under, it very specifically states I can use as much force as I like.
In hindsight, that was a bad move.
You don't say, you numbskulls. You may make more money than me, and you may run this company, technically, but I'm the one keeping the pieces together. I'm the one supergluing over the cracks. The fact of the matter is that viewership has gone up tenfold.
And we're losing viewership because you continually defy orders and assault members of the NLW roster. People are sick of it, and it has to stop.
Does it? Okay, it will stop once you give me the power around here.
What makes you think we're just going to hand it over to you?
I know you're not going to hand it over to me. That is why I am using terror to my advantage. That is why the NWO and me are assaulting everything in sight. It's to get people like you to notice us. Because I don't know what I have to do to try and get the attention around here. The fact is, I'm the commissioner, and what I say goes in that ring.
Well, okay then, you scumbag. I'm going to tell you exactly what is going to happen. Either you're going to leave this meeting a fired man, or you're going to forfeit your powers as commissioner right now. It's your choice.
Did you not hear me, my ironclad?
I don't give a damn about your ironclad contract.
Well, I'm telling you right now, you can fire me, but the NWO will still be here, won't they? Did you ever think about that? So if I'm gone, then the NWO are just left without direction, without a leader such as myself, and they'll run roughshod. You think that they've been dominant so far? Just wait until I'm out of the picture. They'll go apeshit, believe me. So rethink your strategies.
Well, we rightfully understand your stance. So, what are your demands?
I've already laid out my demands. I want power in No Limits Wrestling. Now I know that you're not going to give it to me. I understand. That is why I suggested a match on Metal to settle things. So I'm proposing to you, at WrestleMania, there is a match that decides the fate of this company. And if the NWO win, I take control of the company, and the NWO are in control.
So you just think we're going to agree to that?
Well, of course, you can add your little perks if you want to.
Okay, here's a perk. If NLW defeat the NWO in this proposed matchup, then you're gone as commissioner.
Alright, fair enough. But of course you still got the NWO, haven't you?
Yeah, well that's exactly it, because if the NWO lose at WrestleMania, then the NWO will be disbanded.
You know that's fair enough, because without the NWO in No Limits Wrestling, it'll burn to the ground anyway. So if I can make this perfectly clear so I understand, Team of NLW versus Team of NWO at WrestleMania. NWO wins, the NWO takes power, and I take control of No Limits Wrestling. And if NLW win, the NWO disbands and I'm fired as commissioner.
Took the words right out of my mouth. So we're going to agree to some logistics?
As long as you turn that damn camera off first, yeah.
Okay, we'll get something finalised.
And ladies and gentlemen, mark this date down in your calendars, because this is the day that you will all, collectively, fucked up. And I can tell you, I'm so looking forward to taking control of my own company.
Well, my God, that is huge news. NWO, NLW, WrestleMania, main event, and good grief. Well, the more details we get about that, we'll get to you, but high stakes in that matchup. And that is a massive story in itself. And well, right here is a man who caused a massive story this past week when he returned to No Limits Wrestling after months of inaction. He was retired by Randy Orton in a loser leaves NLW match at last year's WrestleMania, and he returned at the Royal Rumble to seek vengeance. However, it was Randy Orton who thought he put him away for good with a swift kick to the skull, but Batista came back last week and delivered a devastating spear in a Batista bomb to cost Randy Orton his hardcore championship. And with WrestleMania around the corner, it is great to have Batista back.
We pushed each other to the limit, and then we went past the limit. Nothing resolved. And as I'm laying there in all the rubble and all the destruction, beaten and bruised and battered and bloody, and I'm thinking to myself, is this all worth it? All this pain, is it worth all this destruction? And if I could have, I would have stepped outside of my body and I would have slapped myself in the face for asking a stupid question like that. Is it worth it? Hell, yes, it's worth it. It's worth every second of pain, every drop of blood, and I'm ready to do it again. Every inch of my body hurts, and I am ready to do it again, because it's worth it. After WrestleMania, I made a promise, I will, and I'm ready to do it again.
I couldn't help but overhear your predicament, Batista, and I know, even from hearing your words, that these people want to see the rematch from last year's WrestleMania. So you may ask yourself the question also, how do you top that street fight that was one of the best matches in NLW history? Well, I'll tell you what you can do. You two push each other to the limit, to the point where one of you can no longer physically stand. That is why, at WrestleMania, I am announcing right now that Batista versus Randy Orton will happen, and this time it will be a last man standing match.
My God, what a match made for WrestleMania!
But hold your horses. Because of the violent nature of your assault last week, I don't want to put Randy Orton's health in danger, and I don't want to put your health in danger either. So, until WrestleMania, you and Randy Orton are not allowed to come into contact with each other. There is a no contact rule between you two. If one of you hits the other one before WrestleMania, I can guarantee a hefty fine will be coming your way. Now, Dave, you might want to leave, because your opponent is in action right now.
Well, that's a massive match that's been made by the commissioner. A bit hypocritical that he requested a no contact rule, considering the health and safety issues he's been causing with the NLW roster. But there you go, he's the commissioner, and what he says goes. And a no contact rule, no physicality between now and WrestleMania for Batista and Randy Orton. And well, you can see as both of these men cross paths, they want to get their hands on each other in a big way. But obviously if they do, hefty fines will be coming to the both of them. So that is why they're not hitting each other. And well, apart from the hypocrisy of the commissioner's statement there, I've got to say it's for the right reasons. And well, that last man standing matchup is going to be a blockbuster match at WrestleMania 2 between Randy Orton and Batista. And you want to talk about blockbuster WrestleMania matches. You want to talk about the World Heavyweight Championship on the line. The World Champion AJ Styles puts the World Heavyweight Championship on the line against the #1 contender, the Royal Rumble winner, the Phenom, The Undertaker. And last week, The Undertaker came out here to this very ring and went face to face with AJ Styles, the World Champion, and said to him, looked him in the eye and said, I am going to be the undisputed champion. And well, it's hard to argue with that. He is the first ever NLW World Champion. Will he come full circle at WrestleMania and win the title back, become the first ever two-time NLW World Champion? We'll see if that happens at WrestleMania, but right now, Orton has a date with Destiny against The Undertaker before he's scheduled for his last man standing match at, well, there's a no physicality rule between Orton and Batista. Maybe Orton can shake off some of the pain he felt last week at the hands of Batista against The Undertaker. It's not going to be easy as he chokes him in the ropes. But then, oh my goodness. Well, a massive boot to the face of Randy Orton, getting him right in the esophagus. And now looking for old school, but Randy Orton with the wherewithal to take him off the top rope, and the fans not happy because Orton continuing the assault. Pleads innocence, but The Undertaker's right back at him with some heavy shots in the corner. Irish whip, but an elbow sends him back. And another devastating punch by The Undertaker. That is the brawling style that The Undertaker plays. And now Undertaker off the ropes with that diving clothesline. And that is exactly what AJ Styles has to contend with come WrestleMania. And when we saw him ride in on his motorcycle earlier, and The Undertaker rolling into WrestleMania in a big way, and a win against Randy Orton would be amazing for his momentum, but it's not looking like he's going to win at the moment. There's a stiff kick by Randy Orton, and the Viper taking control again. Oh my, has him held by the head and delivers that second rope DDT, but Orton couldn't get the free that time. Undertaker gets his foot on the rope, and luckily he had the real awareness to do that. Oh my goodness, and again, well there you go, that's the vicious nature of Randy Orton that Batista's going to have to contend with at WrestleMania. This is the same Randy Orton that retired Batista at last year's WrestleMania, and he's working on that leg of The Undertaker's. And a swift kick to the face. Don't like the looks of this for The Undertaker at the moment. A massive knee drop by the Viper. And the man who just last week was the hardcore champion is now taking out those frustrations over losing that championship on The Undertaker. And the list of men who Randy Orton has taken out of action, it's a long list, folks. It includes Batista, although he's back now. It also includes the Sandman, who this past week went into surgery following a shoulder injury sustained at the hands of Randy Orton. And now you see Undertaker catches him out with that catapult and punches him down again with that uppercut. And Orton scurrying away, and I don't blame him, especially when you're in there with the Dead Man. The Dead Man Incorporated, oh my, going on the apron and delivers that leg drop right down on the apron. That's the hardest part of the ring, and that's 300 pounds crushing your neck. It's not fun, and I can vouch for them. And now rings the arm on that top rope, and the way that The Undertaker's able to use his agility like that. He's 300 pounds, but he flies through the air like a cruiserweight sometimes. And now the brawling tactics coming into play and almost snapping back the neck of Randy Orton. And Orton now, thankful he's not at the receiving end. Oh my, wow. Well, I was about to say that Orton was thankful that he's not on the receiving end of the Batista assault again because of the no physicality rule between now and WrestleMania, but that drop kick sent Undertaker loopy. And Orton going for the RKO here, but The Undertaker had it scouted. Pushes him away. Oh my, gonna see the tombstone now, but Orton flailing his legs desperately and hits that backbreaker to the Phenom. Where on earth do you suppose Randy Orton's going now? He's certainly going to try and get some breathing room here. Undertaker's on his knees, and again, clubbing blows to the front face and takes him down. The 300-pounder taken down to his knees, and Randy Orton going to the top rope, uncharacteristic, but maybe going for a crossbody or something. Oh my! Well, I say oh my a lot, but that is because Randy Orton just got caught in mid-air and chokeslammed by the Phenom. He's in no man's land at the moment. The Undertaker firing up. Wants to hit that tombstone pile driver maybe, and well, I thought I misheard Well, I thought I misheard that the first time. And we saw him iron up the Undertaker's motorcycle, and what the hell's he doing here? And that's the Undertaker's property, for God's sake. And the world champion AJ Styles on that motorbike with the RKO from Randy Orton. Oh, and damn it, the distraction cost him. And Orton picks up the victory. Thanks to the distraction by AJ Styles, what the hell's he doing on that motorbike? Well, it's a bizarre situation. Why the hell would AJ Styles, look at him. Look at the lackadaisical way he just leans on that motorbike. That's the Undertaker's. And why the hell has he brought it into the arena? He's obviously trying to get into the head of the Undertaker before their match at WrestleMania. Well, it looks as if it was going to be over with that devastating chokeslam, and then AJ Styles riding into the arena on the Undertaker's motorbike that he rode in this morning, and well, the RKO following the distraction, that's what cost him. And the Undertaker loses, and that's going to hit serious momentum. And why is he still here? Does this man have a death wish or something? He's still riding that motorcycle and the Undertaker running after him. And what in the hell is AJ Styles doing here? Well, he rides it, oh my! Well, if he had speared him, that would have been a hefty fine for Batista. And obviously that no physicality rule is playing on the minds of both of these guys before their last man standing match at WrestleMania. Is tearing them up inside. They want to fight so badly, but that will only happen at WrestleMania. And speaking of WrestleMania, is this man going to be at WrestleMania, or is he going to retire, hang up his boots for good? Triple H in the next part comes out, explains his future, and all this NWO situation. Triple H announces his future in No Limits Wrestling. That's up next.